Hello everyone, it is crunch time here in the World Championship. We come to Portimao for the Portuguese Grand Prix, and sadly it's going to be the last time it's going to be on an ALR calendar for at least a season anyway. It may come back for season 10 potentially, but for the time being it is only going to be on it's not on season's 9 calendar next season, unfortunately. But yes, there we are here in Portugal. It is a tough old circuit indeed. Let me just make sure I got my sound on. Oh, it has fantastic stuff. I got my sound on. That's quite a. It's definitely a win so far, isn't it? But anyway, the other thing, well, more importantly though, tonight we do have, we do have championships on the line tonight. If McLaren do not outscore AlphaTauri by 4 points, then the Constructors' Championship will be won by AlphaTauri tonight. We've already had one Constructors' Championship confirmed last Tuesday, I think it was, as in the form of Alpine, who won the Constructors last week very nicely indeed. That as we count down to the session itself, that also the Joint Constructors can be won as well, but they cannot be won. It cannot be won until I think it's the bronze race on Wednesday, Tuesday, where the Joint Constructors could be won. No, I think it's actually silver. Tomorrow night, the Joint Constructors can be won by AlphaTauri as well if it all goes their way. So, indeed, there's championships on the line here this weekend in the Archive here in Portugal, as we are hitting round 22 of a 24-round season, the longest season ever in ALR, and you can tell it's the longest season because today is the lowest drivers we have ever had in an ALR race, which is pretty horrific, to be honest. I think the lowest number of drivers I've ever seen on the ALR grid was 16 back in Australia, season 5 or 6, or maybe season 4. Yeah, that's pretty shocking stuff indeed. And I don't blame Farf whatsoever, because I think I was sitting in the chat earlier on that Farf only has 1 day a week, usually free these days, so he doesn't really want to be spending his Sunday running around after drivers. But it's a bit unfortunate, guys, and I do see, I do understand the game's not great, but I think it's disappointing indeed, to say the least. But there you go. What can you do? I do. Well, let's go on to a more positive note, shall we? Because thank you to Boxtel, to Percy, and to was to Alhan, and to Troye for racing 20 times this year. So thank you very much to all those drivers then to take part in the whole season. Good stuff indeed. I got to say though, I'm going to string out Silver, because Silver have been brilliant this year. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers that have raced in every single race, and we have got 4 free drivers that have raced over 90% of the time as well. So good stuff indeed for Silver. They should very much be recommended. They should very much do well, and also the same for Bronze as well. I don't think I think that we don't have a driver that's racing every single race in Bronze this season, apart from Cirrus Mushroom. Actually, that can't be right, because I'm sure there's a couple others as well. But yeah, I think it's Jinner, Winnie. I think Jinner, sorry, Dynamo Dan, Cirrus Mushroom, and a few others as well. So good stuff indeed there from their point of view. Anyway, that's my little rant over with. Yeah, there you go. It's only 2 hours, and we've got intermediate tyres on cars as well. Fantastic. Right, anyway, yeah, that's good. I would have done all the races, but my pearls were broke were still in delivery. Don't worry about that, Percy. I understand that. As you can tell, I broke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Mainly because I've really hurt my finger in the night, which absolutely kills. But yeah, there we go. Well, I'm just feel sorry for Farf, really. I'm to waiting Farf and Naughty for wasting all their time today trying to get people to drive. There we go. But I suppose next season will be interesting to see who gets their seats and who doesn't. Right, so this is basically a glorified practice session, really, which gives me a great opportunity to talk about some of the rumours going on in the real world of Formula 1, really, which is apparently Miami is... there's a rumour that I've been reading on the old TikTok that apparently Miami's going to be a night race next year, which would be quite interesting. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, though, but we'll see how that one goes out. Also, of course, about Nick de Vries not performing well in the AlphaTauri either, unfortunately. and not performed well in the AlphaTauri either. And I think that Daniel Ricciardo has had a seat fitting in the AlphaTauri headquarters. But I think that Liam Lawson from Super Formula would probably be a good option, really, because I think I've seen his name touted around as well for the AlphaTauri second seat. However, it is a bit harsh, isn't it? I think that Nick de Vries does have 3 races to save his season. Hopefully, those circuits he is much more familiar with, I would hazard a guess, than for Nick de Vries. So hopefully he can have a better time of it. Serious much and good luck tonight. Looking forward to an epic battle for that gold title. Yes, indeed, the gold title is going to be fantastic. Let's take a look at the gold championship, shall we? This, as I said already, 15 drivers, which is the lowest drivers that has ever taken part in a ALR gold race, certainly, and an ALR championship race as well. Dylan has gone fastest on inter tyres. Troy is leading the championship around 4 points in front of Boxtel in second position there. 4 points separates the 2 top drivers. Percy, I think he's unfortunate out of it now, but as we heard, Percy didn't have his pedals last week, but it's good to see Percy on the grid and still giving it a go, really, when still going to go after having technical issues, because he had the issues in the 100% race 2 weeks ago. German in 4th position mode. I think German's kind of like in no man's land, kind of, really. As long as he outscores Chaza by 2 points tonight, he is guaranteed 4th in the championship. Chaza is 5th at the moment, and his place is certainly not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination, because of course it is 5 points separates him and Vezzi at the moment, currently 5th and 6th then. Gamer in 7th position then. 8th position is Mr. Rage, and this is where it gets really tight. Gamer 72, Mr. Rage 68, 63 for Green. Alhan, who's exited the campaign because he's fed up with other drivers apparently. Marquis Marquis in 11th position on 58 points as well then. We got Nigel on 32 points then, and talking of Nigel, tomorrow night, if he outscores Equals by 2 points, he will be the silver champion. So good stuff indeed there for Nigel then, on the cusp of history tomorrow night. I love it. We got some Siege in 13th position. We got Farf on the screen at the moment. Pink Eye in 14th. 15th is Coop, as in Soup. Knowlesy in 16th position then. 17th position was Pillars, but I don't think he's racing for the rest of the season. 18th is Sweet. Indigo in 19th position, and 20th position is KD. Constructors Championship, as I've mentioned, McLaren need to outscore AlphaTauri by 4 points, and otherwise otherwise AlphaTauri are the Constructors Champions, and that'll be the first Constructors Champion, the new Constructors Championship we've had since season 5, I think it is, isn't it, or season 4? Of course, McLaren have really had have really been monopolising that Constructors Championship, haven't they? So yes, but AlphaTauri got to take that away them tonight. But Mark in Boxtal is not going to relinquish that without a fight. I'm sure that Marquis is just hugging the inside pit wall there. We got Aston Martin in 3rd position, 31 points away from McLaren. They've fallen off as of late, Aston Martin haven't they? Ferrari in 4th position with 5th Haas, and Haas are 17 points back then. Remember, Haas was I think they only just scratched 100 points in the constructors last year. This year much more better than they're 5th at the one, and they've been the most improved team as a constructor in gold. Alpine in 6th position with Alfa Romeo 7th. Mercedes are in 8th position, and Red Bull and Williams are fighting away not to lose the wooden spoon championship of who's going to come last. Williams, we talk about Haas being the most improved team. Williams, I think, is probably the least improved team. Well, the worst. What's the most disapproved team is, I suppose. Hang on a minute. The most disproved team, because they were 2nd in the constructors last season, now 10th, and them and Red Bull are joined at the bottom at the moment. And let's see what Lucifer Shahid can do then in the Red Bull in 13th position, and he's making his debut tonight in gold. Joint constructors, as I mentioned then, as it stands at AlphaTauri are the constructors leading the Joint Constructors Championship and can win it this week as well. I think they can win it in silver tomorrow night. Aston Martin are 2nd, then Alpine are in 3rd. McLaren 23 points away from Alpine, and McLaren and Alpine have had an absolute ding-dong of a battle, haven't they, for the for that third position, and it's not going away either. Is a Haas in fifth position, and they're kind of on their lonesome Haas at the moment. But they cannot confirm their status in fifth in the joint constructors until next week, I believe. Mercedes are in sixth position. Red Bull are 1 point behind the Mercedes, and Ferrari are only 3 points away from the Red Bull. Fantastic fight for sixth, seventh, and eighth position. And Alfa Romeo in ninth position, and Williams completes the top 10. Then, let's see. Let's see how that one transpires, shall we? 9 minutes to go in this qualifying session. As I mentioned, if you just joined us, yes, this is basically a glorified practice session, really, because there's no stakes in this whatsoever. But there we go. And tonight, just take a look at some of the milestones tonight then as well. Nigel making his 88th start in ALR Gold. Fantastic stuff indeed there for Nigel. Boxtown making his 35th Grand Prix start as well, and has whittled the gap in the championship down to just 4 points now between himself and Troy. I am looking forward to that. I've stood in something I don't think I should have. Ooh, that felt a bit soggy there, didn't it? Goodness me. Knowlesy out on circuit as well, joined for the Williams team. This is Knowlesy's 80th Grand Prix start tonight, so happy 80th to Knowlesy then, in the traditional black helmet then, as Knowlesy there just come through the fast kinks of Portugal. As I mentioned, I'm very gutted that Portugal's not going to be on the calendar next season. We do have a rumoured calendar of 22 races next season. Now, a lot of you have heard about the whispers of the new 2023 game, saying, of course, Portugal will be on the game next season. It's not on the calendar at the moment for ALR's point of view, but of course, also there's a couple of other tracks on there as well, like China and Paul Ricard. Then, but those two are also not on the calendar either, as it stands at the moment for the draft calendar. Anyway, but there's only 22 races. Then, of course, you eagle-eyed viewers wondering, well, which race is not going to be on the calendar for next season? Because of course, we are expected Las Vegas and what's the other one? Oh gosh, that's shocking, isn't it? Oh, and Qatar will be a part of the next year's calendar, of course, and so we are expecting a 20 race calendar, which is 2 down from this season. And as it stands, that would have been this would have been tonight's final race if it was 22 races this season, which to be honest, judging from the attendance, it probably should have been. Anyway, yeah, nonetheless, I'm looking forward to next season. It should be good indeed then, I would hazard a guess then. On board now with Knowles as he comes through the infield here. I must say then, this track is fantastic, isn't there? You very much, you do tackle this circuit up and down like a roller coaster, isn't it, around here? Fantastic circuit indeed that. I would say that you've got to really nail this circuit, don't you, here in Portimao? But I would say this is probably, is it in the top 5 in the game? That's quite controversial when you got the likes of Silverstone, likes of Spa, Monza, of course Suzuka, just to name a few legendary circuits. A few legendary circuits, but I do enjoy this one certainly to attack it with time trial. I'm not sure about racing on it, but it's certainly fantastic to watch. And Knowlesy comes back into the pits as well. Knowlesy in that little Williams car. Then, so 7 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Hopefully, of course, as I mentioned, this is a practice just to get an eye in. I would say then, as this qualifying one session, there's not really much to play for, unfortunately. Then. German says that this is the worst track on the game. He hates this one. Oh, good. To be fair though, it is kind of a love-hate relationship. This one is, isn't it? I really enjoy it. I must say, it's a tough circuit to get right. But but as I said then, I don't think it's a great circuit to race on potentially. I'm not too sure. Maybe I'm being a bit controversial on that fact. But I do think I certainly like driving it on time trial, I must say. Of course, talking to which, next week you do go to the. This is our last European stop. This is basically a quick pit stop then for the last race in Europe before we go back. Before we go back on the road, hit the road then where we go to China for round 23, of course, and then round 24 will be in Abu Dhabi as well. Then, so there is still 78 points up for grabs, including this one tonight. There, the Drivers' Championship cannot be won tonight, but the Constructors' Championship can be won here tonight. Can be one here tonight, of course. So that is what we're going to be keeping our eye on then for the time being in this one here tonight. Then, of course. So, of course, also to make you aware as well that the hang on, sorry, excuse me. Kaz is asking if there's any more room in the race. I think if you message Farf and ask him, there is plenty of room in the race. There's 5 spots open at the moment. 5 spots open at the moment, isn't there? Farf said he loves China. Gurman says he loves China. See, and there's me. I really struggle with it. I used to love that circuit on the older games, but on this game, I think it was last game as well. I used to love the circuit earlier on, but I think it was around F1 2020 or 2021 in an ALR race where I think I was racing in bronze, and I was just so far off the pace that I just don't like it anymore. I think I came home a miserable 15th. I was absolutely shocking. But there we are. So we're just watching Charles to come through the final couple of turns as well. China number 1 is what Serious Marshall was saying as well. I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm quite surprised actually. But then again, it's a nice circuit to drive. I quite enjoy driving it. But then again, after I got bad memories of that race after that one horrific race, and there's Chaz also at the race as well. In this course, if you wonder why I'm not too excited about that qualifying session, well, it was basically a dead rubber qualifying session. There's absolutely no reason for that qualifying session apart from the drivers to get an eye in and just get themselves going on the board, really. Of course, the reason for that, this is the lowest number of drivers we've ever had in a ALR Gold lobby, which is also why I sound a bit annoyed as well, really. But there we go. Right, we're now going on into qualifying 2, which will have a bit more stakes up for grabs as soon as we load, and now we'll find out who the 5 slowest drivers will be on this circuit. Then I miss it on the real calendar. German is saying, yeah, I think that China used to be one of the more entertaining races, didn't it? China did. Of course, obviously the F1, the 1000th race there was probably not one to remember. I think it was one of the most boring ones that I've ever seen. But the year before, and the year before that, wasn't it? Or the year before that, wasn't it? Danny Ricciardo then, of course, charging through the field then and finishing a very respectable, was it 6th or 5th? I can't remember. But then I think in 2018 as well, didn't he win the race there after overtaking Bottas late on? It was a really good race as well. Of course, the other good races around there, 2006 there, where he had a wet circuit, really good race as well as that one was. 2007, how could you forget, where Hamilton came into the pit lane and beat his McLaren Mercedes, of course, when they had that little gravel trap there. I think they got rid of it in 2015. I think that was the year after Maldonado also found the wall as well. Of course, the real Pasta Maldonado, not the ALR's version of Maldonado, albeit I am sure she's been in the pit entrance war a few times as well, along with Farf, so she's in good company. But as we're now going out for qualifying 2 here, then of course we got Dylan racing here tonight. I don't think I'll have a look at Dylan's stats for gold in just a jiffy then. But German out on circuit 1, we got a Red Bull of green out there as well, and also Mercedes of Dylan, as we just seen leave the pit lane. I can't remember the 2008 Chinese Grand Prix. I think it was quite a straightforward race for Lewis Hamilton, wasn't it? 2009 was Red Bull's first ever race win as well, wasn't it? In Formula 1, of course, they got a 1-2 as well. Vettel won his 2nd Grand Prix of his career, didn't he? That first one with Red Bull, of course, Mark Webber finished 2nd on that day as well. It was a very wet race indeed then. Goodness me. And believe it or not, I think we only had a safety car for a couple of laps before they unleashed the drivers then to tackle the elements of China that day. It was a really good one as well. Nico Rosberg, of course, won his first ever race around there in 2012 in the Mercedes. That was also Mercedes' first win as a constructor since return to F1. Of course, and then the next couple of years or so, well, to say about the next 8 years or so, they was kind of a monopoly on Formula 1, weren't they? The Mercedes team. So yeah, there's been some very good race, very good memories around China. I do like that one as well. I must admit though, being an older fan, and I do used to like the Estoril circuit circuit in Portugal. The last time they raced around there was in '96. I think Jacques Villeneuve was the final winner there. They was going to race there in '97, but I can't. I think that there are some issues with the circuit. If someone can tell me what the issue was, that'd be fantastic. So I can't remember, because Jerez had to be the season closer that season, didn't it? Because it was very late on, was it? The circuit was waiting. I'm not sure if it was safety improvements or FIA approval. Not too sure on that. But in the end, Estoril was not part of the 97 calendar, albeit it was on the 97 game, which is a lovely additional bonus circuit, wasn't it? So very good stuff indeed. Of course, Jacques Villeneuve won the final ever race around Estoril, didn't he? And of course, in that incredible overtake on Michael Schumacher on the, I think it was, of course, the Parabolica. The Parabolica that you and I know is, of course, the one around Monza, the final turn around Monza, but it was the final turn around Estoril as well. As Villeneuve went on the outside of Michael Schumacher, an incredible overtake as well. Williams, I got to say, in the mid '90s, Williams were dominating around Estoril, weren't they? So I think that David Coulthard won his first ever Grand Prix around Estoril. That's why I like it, isn't it? Because being a big old David Coulthard fan for some unknown reason, coming out of the final turn then for German up to the grid hatch as well. And this is our first, I think this is our first competitive lap in action in this qualifying session now. And German's gone fastest on an 18, but that's quickly been displaced by Green, who's gone faster by about 500ths of a second. And Dylan has gone into third position. That's a very good 18.4 there for Dylan. Lovely stuff indeed. That McLaren of Marquis well off the circuit there. Goodness gracious me, he's almost in Estoril there. Is how far he went off the circuit there. A very difficult turn 12 that is, I think, now from Marquis, where he's gone off. Kaz has joined the session as well. Welcome to the race, Kaz, and hopefully he can join in the Aston Martin. Is that Marquis has spun the car again then. Just watching Mr. Rached as he is tackling the hills of Portugal as well. As Shahid has just gone into fourth position then. On board with Vesden accelerating that, and that McLaren of Marquis struggling to get back onto the circuit. And here comes Vesli coming up to the line now then. And I thought, it's very deceiving because I thought he was going to the pits. So Vesli in fourth position. He's a part of that incredible almighty battle for 8th in the Drivers' Championship there, where there's about 4 or 5 drivers there really fighting, hammering tongs there. Out the final turn there for Mr. Rage, and he goes 4 fastest in the Haas car, much improved Haas machine of this season then. So 10 minutes into this qualifying session, Green is the fastest there by less than a tenth of a second. Love the helmet as well. German in second with Dylan third, Mr. Rage in fourth with Vesli fifth, and Shahad in sixth position at the moment there. We've got several drivers that have not set a time yet, including Percy, who I think is retired from this session. I wonder if he's got a qualifying ban there from Favre. Kaz has not selected a car just yet then, but that might be because he's out qualified actually. Silly me. And you can see the Red Bulls just been thrown up on the dolly wheels and wheeled back in to the garage now. It's only 6 drivers have set a time so far. Only 5 have set a competitive time so far, because Shahid has been out on the intermediate tyres. And Knowlesy also out on the intermediates as well. I set a time on the mediums at the moment. Oh, goodness me. I didn't see that at all. Oh, gosh. There we go. I thought it was on the soft tyres, Dylan. Maybe my graphic is on the blink then. Or perhaps more likely, I did not see it. Into the pits comes Vesli now as well. Is that they are just coming back into the pits then and just waiting to see what their competitors do then. So we're just approaching half distance then in this qualifying session. I hope you all enjoyed the Eurovision Song Contest last night. I must say I very much enjoyed it, and I very much enjoyed Finland's entry, which was, I think, should have won, to be honest. But it was also cool to see. I think it's what's her name, Loreen or something like that, of course, who did that amazing Europa song, I think it was, or Europa or something like that, I can't remember. You can tell that I'm also really hip as well, but yeah, that's what I was spending most of my night doing, was watching the Eurovision Song Contest. Right, so we got Marquis out on circuit as well. Potentially a big day for Marquis in the championship there, as of course that he is challenging He wants to take the lead in the World Championship over Troy at the moment, and currently, as I've mentioned, only 15 drivers in this session, and I think that's going to be kind of the line I'm going to be saying all night, really, because it's really annoyed me. But there we go. As a Boxtel then just try to warm up those tyres then, and you can see then that he's just accelerated away, coming into the final couple of turns then for Boxtel, and let's see what he can do then as well. So this is going to be an early marker then. Boxtel really very much the main man in qualifying this season. He's going for his 10th pole position in 21 qualifying sessions, so that is almost half. That's almost a 50% success rate as well. It's not as good as Fangio, because I think Fangio's got like 14 pole positions in 19 qualifying sessions this season in silver. Absolutely brilliant stuff there from Fangio. Really good stuff indeed then. As Boxtel just accelerated out of turn 3 and onto the back straight. Then, of course, the media tower will be on the left-hand side as we go on board. There it is. Then this is the second DRS zone. Only 2 DRS zones around the Portimao here in Argive. And now accelerating away then. Of course, I think that the drivers, well, we've heard that German don't like this circuit, but I'm sure that a lot of the reason why some of the other drivers like it is probably because of just of how elevated this circuit is, and you go up and down. It's like a roller coaster around here, and if you're going to go off, you're going to go off in a major way, of course. But luckily, there's a lot of grass on the there's a lot of grass before you hit the barrier. So when you do go off, I don't think you'll hit the barrier too hard. Then Boxtel's gone purple in the second split time. Chaza, hello there. General Kenobi. We've got Boxtel coming out to turn 13, and of course I think that Chaza might be satisfied with the playoff result earlier on. I think it was 0-0, wasn't it, between Coventry and Middlesbrough. Unfortunately, I was having a nap at the time because since I've hit my 30s, I need a nap at least in the afternoon there, just to keep myself going. And it's a 1-2 for the McLaren, which is exactly what they need to do for to keep the Constructors' Championship alive tonight. Then going into China in a week's time, it's still very much a stretch, and just how incredible the AlphaTauri team have been overall this season. Nigel's just gone into second faster, 2/10 of a second away from Boxtel, who is, I would say, Boxtel, Troye and Persia, the measuring stick of gold as it stands this season. As it stands this season now, Dylan's just gone back up in the third as well. So the times are now starting to really, hit their mark as well. On board with German then, of course. There were about 5 minutes to go in this qualifying session now. 5 minutes ago in this qualifying session. And of course, we've got Williams in front of us. German may not be too impressed with that. You've seen that the car snapped there, and German had a glance and look over there from Nigel. I wonder if he was unhappy with Nigel's positioning of the car potentially for the Williams side. Of course, Williams are fighting with Red Bull to get off the bottom of the constructors at the moment. It is going to get very heated indeed, I think, between those two teams there. Green currently in 5th at the moment, and he is behind German on circuit and trying to improve his time. Yellow flag there for one of the Mercedes getting out of the way. I think it might have been Dylan. As Shahid then, of course, in tonight as the super sub then for KD. KD only seems to race every other weekend. On board with German then out to the final turn and up to the line, and German goes 4 fastest at the moment. Green then also coming out to turn 13. Whoa, very close. I thought he was going to be off the circuit then. Knowles here has left the session. I'm wondering if that is the disgust of Green having to start oversteer out of 13. Comes across the line then, and Green goes fast. So that's a great time indeed there for Green. Remember, he finished second in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, was it? Hang on, God, I have to get on my old specs, don't I, to see where he finished. But I'm sure he finished second in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, which really kicked off the season. Green did have a difficult start to his campaign in gold then, but he's been absolutely fantastic ever since, hasn't he? The same with Styles in bronze. I think since the turn of the year, since Monaco, look at that then, is Shahid also having troubles with the car there. So Boxtel is happy up for us. Anyone in the 17s, are they going to be through comfortably? I'm not sure, but let's see how the track develops then. As Shahid is gone currently 9th fastest in the Red Bull. That is about 600 a second away from what Vesely done in the AlphaTauri then. On board, just watching the AlphaTauri of Vesely, who is on a 4-minute lap there. Mr. Ray just started this up as well. It's a lovely shot there from the McLaren team. As of course, we've got no Alpines in here tonight, which is a bit unfortunate. That's why an Alpine have had a really tough season. I must say that they have had so many drivers in those cars over the season it's been very difficult to really get themselves sorted. Of course, I think Wouter and Kush had a great, I think their best pairing of the season, but unfortunately, of course, it's been a bit of a revolving door, like it has been in Gold. To be honest, I must say I'm very negative, really, about Gold this season. Unfortunately, because of unfortunately, but it's not been the action on track. It's been absolutely superb on track. It has been the 19 full-time drivers at the beginning of the season give up their seat, which is not great at all, really. Yeah, the game hasn't been great, but but it's just not good at all, really, is it? Mr. Rage then, but I do understand some people. Yeah, of course, have got other commitments and stuff like that now, because I did realise it's actually Mother's Day in other countries. So happy Mother's Day as well. Of course, Gamer out for a meal with his for Mother's Day as well. So I hope that today has a lovely family dinner. And I must say, I think that that is a lot more important than what we're doing, than what I'm doing here. Just sat here talking about cars go around in a circle. Vesley has gotten 7/10 quicker, but but I think that other drivers are giving up their seat because they can't be bothered. It's not great, but there we go. Anyway, I won one tonight, and gosh. So Nosy is back in the session now. We've also got Fowles, who is also joining as well. His name gives me the heebie-jeebies, to be honest, because I can't say his name. He's raced in bronze a few times this season, so this is his debut tonight in Gold. Then out of the final turn, then Chazza goes 10th fastest there in the Mercedes. Good stuff indeed. Then here's Troy. Troy is not going to be too concerned, is he, about what is going on there with the lack of drivers tonight? And all he's concerned about is Boxtel, and of course the rivalry between himself and Boxtel, I think, is gonna be one for the ages. So that is one thing, him, Boxtel and Percy, and he has gone faster by 0.3 of a second there with 90 seconds to go in this qualifying session. That is a major statement of intent now from the championship leader. Then Troy's had 6 Grand Prix wins this season. Boxtel's had 9 Grand Prix wins this season, but Troy has been leading the championship because of his consistency, and he can get AlphaTauri's Constructor Championship over the line tonight. Him and Vesley can get that Constructor Championship over the line tonight, and if he can, and AlphaTauri can as well, and Vesley can, then I think that is going to be major problems for the McLaren team and for Boxtel, because I feel then without the constructors, maybe keep of course, we say that racing drivers are selfish human beings. They almost certainly are selfish human beings, I reckon. However, they also love winning, don't they? And I do think that Troy certainly wants that Constructors' Championship wrapped up here tonight, and then he's going to be fully focused on the Drivers' Championship as well. I think for Boxtel, on the other hand, I think that him, Markey, and the McLaren team knows that it's going to be a stretch for them to win the Constructors' Championship. So I think that Boxtel very much focused on getting that Drivers' Championship over the line now. However, I could be completely wrong, and none of the drivers even care about the Constructors' Championship, but I certainly do. Then I'm sure that the drivers at the end of the season will be very happy to see that they're going to be a part of the Constructors' Championship for season 8 of ALR. On board with Farf, this is Farf's return to ALR Gold. Then of course, Farf, a multiple Grand Prix winner in Gold as well. I think he's won a race. He's won 3 times in Gold. Farf has, of course. Remember, he was leading the season 2 championship after 2 wins in 2 races, and it should have been a 3rd win, but he got hit by silent shifting at the safety car restart in China, which cost him, I'm sure it cost him the race win or something like that then, but or along those lines then. But he was on the podium that day as well. He was he was very consistent. Farf was back in those days. He's currently 11th at the moment, a 10th of a second away, and he's out of qualifying. We've already got our 5 drivers out of qualifying, which is Percy down in 14th, Knowlesy in 15th, and Shahid in 13th position. Vesley out of qualifying along with Farf as well, who was in 11th position today then. But welcome back, Farf. And I think that hang on, let me get my stat book out for Farf then, because he's got some pretty impressive stats, I'm sure he has. Our Farf has. Let's take a look. Yeah, I don't think he's raced for a very long time, because he's well down on my sheet then. But yeah, this is going to be Farf's Oh, hello, Freddie Shaw. I need to turn my notifications off, really, don't I? Sam Green split in at the top dogs, but Percy is saying very much so. Green, that's a very impressive time there from Green, isn't there? And as I was looking to see when he came second, I think it was in Azerbaijan earlier on then. Yeah, let's go back to Farf a bit quick then. Yeah, 76 Grand Prix starts then for Farf. 3 wins, 9 podiums there. Fast lap and driver of the day, but also he's had 30 DNFs as well in gold. Then, of course, I cannot leave out that snippet of information because that's probably very important for the Farf wanted to know. But yes, indeed, then I'm just going to have a look at where Green finished in Azerbaijan earlier on this season. He did finish he finished second, didn't he, in Azerbaijan? Very good stuff indeed there for Green. I think he's had a very good season, Green has. Troy passes by 2/10 of a second, 3/10 of a second in front of his championship rival, 2/10 of a second in front of Green. And as Percy mentioned, and that is something that I don't think that Boxtel or Troy was expecting to see Green in there. But goodness me, they're going to be concerned about that. And Nigel and Dylan are also close as well here. Gurman in 6th position with Marky, Siege, Mr. H and Chazza completes the top 10. Out of qualifying is Knowlesy, Percy, Shahid, Vesey and Farf out of qualifying. And as we roll on to qualifying 3 then. And pole position then for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Oh, I've just dropped my phone. Don't think Farf enjoyed my my DNF stat on him then. Right, let's go into qualifying 3. By the way, I have really hurt my finger. Let's just say someone landed on my finger a couple of weeks ago, and it's really been throbbing. And oh gosh, but there you go. I'm just I'm a wimp when it comes to injuries and stuff like that. I would say sports injuries, but I think the only sport I do is walking to the fridge and back. Here comes the Green Mean Fighting Machine Green and out of the pits and great time in qualifying too there. And of course he qualified well in Azerbaijan as well, and I think that's what got him out of trouble because there was absolute chaos, wasn't there, in the opening couple of laps in Baku earlier on this season. As we're just looking in the pit lane, and then we've got an Alfa Romeo Siege out on circuit first. Siege, one of the best F2 drivers I have ever seen in my very limited time in commentating on F2. Very good stuff indeed, Siege is. Probably could have and should have won that title as well. There's a couple of grims there. Of course, it was Emerson that won that title, wasn't it? Back last season when it was part of HDE. So yeah, good stuff indeed. And I kind of wanted the F3 season to return for Wednesday, but I think unfortunately I was outvoted there by the 100% league as well, which of course I think it's been quite a good success overall then, with of course Immortal driving superbly well over the season. As the Siege is about to set us on our way then 10 minutes in this qualifying session as we fly out of turn 14 and going over the grid hatches as well to start a lap on the board. And of course make the most of Alfa Romeo, because next season, or the next 2 seasons of season 9 and potentially season 10 is it will be the last time we see Alfa Romeo on an ALR grid then for the foreseeable future, before they return to the Sauber name for 2024 and 25 before becoming the Audi team in 26. And of course there has been a lot I think it was Carlos Sainz that was in the rumour mill a few weeks ago, wasn't it, Bob? Potentially joining the Audi team then later, which is about 4 seasons away at the moment, so you can't really take too much. You can only take that with a pinch of salt, can't you? But yeah, very very exciting times, Audi. It's a shame that Porsche and Red Bull didn't tie-up didn't come to fruition there, was it? But I think that Porsche wanted 50% ownership of Red Bull, didn't they? Which I don't think it was ever going to happen, to be honest. But there we go. But of course, they've now got a partnership with Ford. It's great to see Ford back in F1 as well. Of course, I think the last time Ford was in there was a part of the Jaguar setup, wasn't it? That ill-fated project then, which didn't go very well, mainly because they had so many team principals there, like Bobby Rahal, Nicky Lauda. I don't think Nicky Lauda was actually a team principal, was he? I don't think he was. Jackie Stewart was not a team principal as such, was he? I think he took more of a back seat role, didn't he, in the Jaguar days. season. But yeah, gosh, it was very, very confusing indeed. Then German has gone second fastest at the moment. What about Boxtel across the line? Now Dylan goes fastest then. I think Boxtel's just starting up there. Dylan in the 17th, 8th, so great time indeed then. And also saying good luck to everyone out there as well. As Green has gone faster, and once again Green has matched the quickest time. It was set by Troye in qualifying 2 here earlier on tonight there. So, goodness me, Green is very much the real deal tonight then. Look at how much pace he's got over Dylan and Siege and German at the moment. That is quite surprising indeed. And we've heard that German is not a fan of this circuit, but you know, I think that German's definitely going to give it a good old fist of things. And the Season 6 champion there, German is there. I'm looking forward to seeing what German's got in his repertoire for next season. Then it was great to see him back in the winner's circle for this season. Now then, kind of get back into the consistency realm with those podiums as well, because I think that was definitely one thing that well, I'd say that the podiums was one thing that won the championship in Season 6. I think it was also that stretch, similar to his silver campaign, that stretch from around the mid-season where he just went on an absolute tear and was winning races, coming second, winning races, coming second now. That is what won him the title, I think then. As Edu has said, watch Green for pole position, and Boxtel's got fastest, just over a tenth of a second from Green, but I don't think Green was very much in the plans of the championship rivals there to have him to be contested here tonight, and that's what I love to see here. I absolutely think it's amazing that Edu saying we should watch Sam Green for pole position. That's a terrible Sue, wasn't it? Whoops, my bad there. As Troye is just coming out of turn number 13, I think that was that. Here comes Chaz then going over the grid hatch as well. Chaz has gone full fastest there. Chaz a great season this season, and Troy's gone fastest on a 17-1 there. Once again, showing his pace. The championship leader is here tonight there. Troy had 4 points separates him and Boxtel. This is the closest championship I can remember in a very long time. We had a very close Season 2 championship between Grantee and Emerson, which went down to the wire in Abu Dhabi before Emerson collided with himself and his cousin Murphy then, which I think was very untimely as well, wasn't it? As Troy has found a new configuration of a circuit. Season 3, of course, was won in round 20 in France. So wasn't it Season 4? Emerson, I think Emerson were a few races ago. Season 5, Emerson dominated, the most dominating season ever in ALR history. Season 6, German won it with a race or two to spare, didn't he? So this one is definitely could be going very much down to the wire. Our first championship down to the wire since Season 2. Nigel's gone has gone full faster. Nigel won it in Abu Dhabi with a race to go in the first ever season of ALR. He is 4th at the moment now. That was a beautiful majestic. Thank you very much, I do. As it sounded pretty appalling on my side, but then again, it might be because I've got sore throat. I don't know what's going on with me lately. I seem to attract every bug in the world at the moment. I think it's just old age, unfortunately. I think that it's just hit me like a brick as of late. There we go. Or maybe it's just the Sunday blues. I'm paying attention there, seeing if I could worm my way out of getting up for work tomorrow. But you know, as much as I'd love to ring in for work, I don't live with my sister anymore. Otherwise, I usually get her to ring in for me. That's why I go to work a lot these days. Right, some seeds coming out of turn 13. He's done a bit of harvested, and now he is away. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Of course, I've had a bit of a moan earlier on the stream then, so I think that's why you've all joined now, haven't you? As now here comes Siege down the back, the start-finish straight into turn 1 as well then. What is Sam's best quality position? Percy is saying. I'm going to be honest, I thought it was 5th position, but I haven't got it on my stat book. Mate, I am a nerd, but I don't really take down many qualifying stats. I used to do it with head-to-heads and stuff when we only had one league in Season 1 and 2, but I haven't done it ever since then. I'm sure it's 5th position then, but I might have to go through the archives and let you guys know, but I might have to put a reminder on my phone actually, because I keep forgetting at the moment to do things like that. So yeah, I'll put it in my phone and tell. Oh, Siege had a bit of a whippersnapper there. I'll let you guys know in China, or I'll let you know in Portugal when I'm back in the booth again. Of course, you lucky fellows. I'm driving the car and even I'm in shock. And even I'm in shock. Green is saying it's great to see as well, because of course Green's best race position was at Baku, as I keep mentioning, but it was a superlative performance. It's one of the toughest circuits on the calendar, and I reckon if Green does a good job here tonight, which he is doing a good job here tonight, he's already doing a good job here tonight, I would say they can shake off that street racer tag mentality, the tag mentality then, where he does well in street races, because I'm sure he did well in Monaco as well, didn't he? Or was it a different circuit? I'm not too sure. Happy Mother's Day in Canada, Kat saying, yes, happy Mother's Day all across the world. Indeed, then yes, I didn't realise. I thought Mother's Day was the same day as for the UK, but obviously not. Shocking behaviour indeed. So that just shows how I'm such an ignorant swine. And on board with German down in 9th position. Well, then he's openly said that this is not a circuit he enjoys. I think that German will be one of a few drivers then that will be loving the fact that this circuit is not on the calendar for ALR next season. But I would like to see it back for season 10, but a lot of drivers probably wouldn't, would they then? But let's see how that one goes then, shall we? On board with Marquez, we're into the heart of the lap then. McLaren wants to stop the AlphaTauri from winning the Constructors' Championship here tonight then. That is going to be on, that is what is on their agenda, isn't it, in the McLaren Mercedes home then. Of course, it is very difficult for them to win the Constructors' Championship, of course. If they have to outscore AlphaTauri by 4 points just to keep themselves in the championship going into China in a week's time. So that is how much of an uphill task to go. With only 88 points up for grabs in the joint in the constructors after this one, I think, give or take a point. I'll have to get my book out in a minute. But I think that McLaren do have a task here tonight, don't they? German then out to the final turn. Is this a better lap for German? It's a much better lap for German. He's on row 3 now. Sorry, row 2, and the same row as Green, who has been absolutely very much then on song here tonight. Really good stuff indeed. Then next season, this will probably be a good track with better traction and handling. Laugh out loud, but I wouldn't know much about that because I don't really know what the drivers do in the car, to be honest, which is why I don't race anymore, because I usually turn left into a right-hander and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's apparently the rotation of the car is going to be more 2021. Am I right in saying that, or 2020? I've only kind of got a lot. The most information I've got about the new game, and what I get really excited by is the red flags, obviously, because I love a bit of chaos and stuff like that. So that's the one thing that I was really interested. Also, I'm interested in new cars as well, then, because I like a pretty car. I'm still upset that we ain't going to get the pink Alpine car. Well, I think we're not anyway. Mr. Rage there, that's not an upsetting time at all. That's a fantastic time. Mr. Rage there, who has been my driver of the season for me personally. He's been fantastic, hasn't he? Brilliant stuff indeed. Boxstar starting this lap then. Siege starting this lap as well. Marky's in the pit said. Dylan is gone purple in the first intermediate split time then in the Mercedes said. I need to check Dylan's stats then for gold there. Nigel out to the final turn as well then for Nigel then. Of course, this is a preview of what's to come next season with Nigel back on the grid for gold then, as it was confirmed a few weeks ago, wasn't it? As of course we do our promotion and relegation in ALR. Free go up, free go down then, give or take and all that kind of stuff. Dylan is in the second split time now. AlphaTauri of Troy is starting his time, I believe. Yes, he is. What about Alpha Mercedes of Chaz? He's also starting his time as well, so we're going to stick with Dylan for the minute, I think, because it's Green on the lap actually. Green's on the lap and coming on to a lap now, so it's Dylan who is the driver on here at the moment then. German bring that 2021 rotation then with that devilish smile then. Oh, love it. I wondered if there's a bit of Dylan's gone for a fifth fast there, so I've completely lost track of the lap there. But what about Boxtel? It's Paul. He's down to 16.997, and that is pole position there for Boxtel. The checker flag is falling, is fluttering, I should say, in the Argive breeze here. But Boxtel, who has shown not much pace up until this point. I say not much pace. I'd love to be in the 17s. I'd love to be in the 18s, to be honest there, but that's a fantastic time there for Boxtel. Nigel is trying to 10 for a second in the second split time here. Here is the first ever champion. Here is the man that could be crowned the silver champion tomorrow night if it goes his way. He is currently on the second row of the grid, which is an ominous statement of intent for Equals for tomorrow night there, but let's see how that one transpires. Here comes Troy. We haven't seen his other sector times yet then, but we'll see if it's enough to get pole position then for Troy. It's not, and it is a Boxhouse on pole position now for the 10th time this season. What about the second Mercedes and a Chazza? Chazza's gone 5th fast on Mr. Muse, too quick. And what about Green, and who has been very much at the heart then of the 17th, and he's done a great time indeed. Green is on row, it's on the second row of the grid on 3rd position, but it is Boxtown pole position then. Oh my word there, and that came out of nowhere, didn't it? Boxtown pole position for the 10th time this season in 21 qualifying attempts. Magnificent stuff for Boxtown. That is Boxtown's 3rd pole position on the spin now. He is very much in a good old run of form here for himself and the McLaren team, especially at this twitchy end of the season, and where it is very getting very critical, isn't it, in the championship as well. That is Boxtown's 12th pole position of his career in ALR as well. Fantastic stuff indeed there for Boxtown. My goodness gracious me, about 27, I say a huge margin, 2,700 a second end between the top two, of course, and wow, what an incredible pole position that was then. But that 16 there has really lit up the track then, and let's see how this one goes then. Personally, bring back 2020 handling then. I really liked the 2020 F1 games for us. I think that was one of my favourites, potentially. Anyway, let's go on to the race then. I like 2021 as well, but I think the 2020 was the peak F1 game for me personally. Right then, let's get on to the race. So, of course, we've got Kaz in here. We've got Harlow Fowles in here. Fowles in here as well. Was it Fowles or Fowles? I think it's Fowles. I had this discussion with Serious Mushroom a couple of weeks ago. But yes, those drivers coming as well. So we've boosted the numbers up to 17, I think, then, which is one higher than the Australian Season 5 Grand Prix, which is good stuff. Or Season 6, I can't remember which one it was now. Very dull day here in Portugal tonight, isn't it? Goodness gracious me. Very overcast indeed. I was expecting not to have rain because we've seen a lot of the wets and intermediates in qualifying one mainly because we don't have a full grid here tonight then, as the final countdown is on then for the start of the Portuguese Grand Prix then. round 22 I should say of the 24 round season then. There is just 3 races to go in the World Championship. There is 3 races to go in the World Championship. 78 points is up for grabs in the Drivers' Championship. There is 132 points up for grabs in the Constructors' Championship. There is 528 points up for grabs in the Joint Constructors' Championship as well. 4 points between Boxtel and Troy. 92 points between AlphaTauri and McLaren. 385 points between AlphaTauri and Aston Martin. That is the crux of the situation here in Portugal tonight there. 3 races there. This is going to be, it's basically like starting afresh in the championship, is it? That's how close the World Championship is between Boxtel and Troy in the final stages of this World Championship. Hard tyres for all of the grid, apart from German going attacking on medium tyres, apart from Vesely and Shahid on medium tyres. Soft tyres for Harlow Fowles in the Ferrari then, of course, in the Ferrari then as well. Let's go through the grid, shall we, from front to back. Boxtel, 12th pole position of his career in ALR F1. Alongside him is Troy, 4 points in front of his front row compatriot Boxtel in the World Drivers' Championship. 3rd is Green, and that's his best qualifying performance of his career. I think his best previous was 5th, I think. 4th is Nigel in the Williams car, and of course Williams needs a good result here, don't they? What is the gap between Troy and Boxtel? It is 4 points. It is 4 points between the two championship rollers of Boxtel and Troy. That has been disqualified. Chazza in 5th, Mr. Rage in 6th, Dylan in 7th position, German in 8th, 9th is Siege, Markey in 10th position, 4th in 11th position there, 11th is Wesley, 12th position is Wesley, 13th position is Shahid. I got that wrong, but let's carry on. 14th position is Percy there. Of course, a championship protagonist earlier on the season. Knowlesy in 15th. Harlow Fowles in 16th position. I get his name wrong every time. Kaz in 70th position in the second. I think this is the only Alpine on the grid. It is indeed there. There are the drivers, and they are lined up on the grid now, making their way, getting ready to start the Portuguese Grand Prix round 22 of 24 here tonight. And where are we going out then here? And 1 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. There's a pause! And we are racing here in Portugal, and Boxdown gets away nicely. We've got a lovely long shot here going down somewhere, but it's Troy, and Troy getting her up, then going into turn 1. Boxdown's back at the inside, the 2 championship rivals already fighting tooth for nail, and Boxdown's got the inside. He's going to force Troy off the road, is he? Borrow Troy has the inside though, into the critical turn 4. Gurman up 2 positions on the medium tires, Chazza down 3 on the hard, and Troy takes the lead. Nigel is alongside Green going up the inside. That's a Haas car diving in, and there's contact there between Mr. H and Green then, and the forfeit. Percy is they're fighting up and down the order between Markey and who is that? That's Shahid then just losing position. Then Percy at the inside into 11th position. Then Markey down into 12th position. Then good start from the second Ferrari at the moment, and he's on the inside of Shahid. Good stuff. There's the Knowlesy and Kaz there in the remainder of the grid there, but Troy leads that and is already trying to escape away from Boxdown, and Nigel in third position on there. Calls that green helmet there that the drivers do not want to see in their wing mirrors, do they? Calls this first ever ALR World Champion is very much back in the mix there. Gurman on the medium tires is absolutely flying. Both Mercedes are all over the back of each other. Dylan, who calls the silver usually a part of the silver championship there, driving for Mercedes here tonight. Good to see. And is he going to have a look down? He is. So Chaz losing up then, and now we've got Siege. Can he siege today? Get himself up into 9th position, and Farf is off the circuit. Vesely is, oh gosh, what's happened there? Vesely out of the race there, and that's a big blow for AlphaTauri in the Constructors Championship. Farf off the circuit as well. Don't know what happened there. We've also got a Red Bull off the circuit. Percy's up into 9th position already, but that's his retirement now for Vesely. Luckily, I think it is out of the far end. Well, it isn't really, is it? But I think that they might be able to move that car without a VS, without virtual safety car, or a full safety car here. Percy is up 5 positions already in the Portuguese Grand Prix. That is unfortunate for Vesey out of the race already. We're down to 16 cars into this one then. On board with Percy, that of course was a championship rival, far down in 16th position there. Having issue. I wonder if he's got damage there. We didn't see what happened in turn 1. There is a almighty scrap between the Williams of Knowlesy, Harlow Fowles here in the Ferrari, Kaz and Shahid and Farf 7 seconds back moment. Knowlesy struggling for pace about that, but he is of course on the hard compound tires there. Troy has set the fastest up for the race, 1.6 seconds. The gap is already then. Mr. Ray said it's lost out to Gurman. Gurman back up into, it's up into 5th position now. There's another fight as well between who is that? Markey is now in the top 10. He is, he passes Siege and makes his way up into 10th position there. Good stuff indeed for Markey. And who is that? Kaz is off the circuit there, down in the down near the back of the field there. The gap is 2 seconds there. Troy is an absolute machine out there at the moment. He's flying there. And Percy, I thought he was a 10th of a second back, but that doesn't stop Percy. He's up into 9th position. Or oh my goodness, he was in 8th, I should say. But Chaz had not given up there, is he? But look at this, Percy having a sniff on the inside there. It's the Aston Martin, the only Aston Martin driver in this race tonight. It's a shame that Kaz couldn't have gotten the Aston Martin, really, because that's where he drives normally, but he could have helped out his team in the joint constructors and of course tonight in gold as well. But Chaz has now got oh, what's happened? Chaz is falling down the order. What's the problem for the, oh, that's contact there, and Marquis, I think it's just misjudged that when overtaken. And Percy's rotten luck in this season just continues, doesn't it? He was making his way up into 8th position there, but Marquis spun Percy around there, unfortunately. A bit of misjudgment on the McLaren team there, on the McLaren Mercedes. Chaz has got no pace. There's something wrong there. Even with DRS, and Green is down into 5th position now, with German up into 4th. German's flying through, and look at this, Marquis has got past Chaz. Chaz has got no pace at all, and that's unfortunate there. Is Shahid's got past Foles, and hopefully Foles has not destroyed his soft tires already. All over the back of Green, all over the back of German is Green, and he's having a look then, but no dice. We come into turn 5 around the media tower. Mr. Agent 6, Dylan up in the 7th position as well. Oh no, I've forgotten to breathe then, which isn't good. Which is not a good sign, is it? Wow, what an incredible start here in Portugal, and we haven't heard what happened to Vettel then, but he's out of the Grand Prix, and he's going to be a bit mystified by that, isn't he? There, we didn't see what happened there. Is he got through the lap 1 carnage there, but then unfortunately it was the second lap where it really snowballed out of control, didn't it? There, so that is disappointment then. That is a disappointment, and unfortunately for Vettel, 16 cars remain out of the 17 that started in the Archive here tonight. Then of course we are in the Archive for the next 2 days as well, and of course tomorrow night it is silver. As I said, Nigel Equaz has got to make sure he outscores Nigel, make sure that he stays within 2 points of Nigel in the championship, otherwise it's all said and done before we get to China. And then of course we've got bronze as well, and Jenner is taking the lead in the world championship in bronze. Can he keep up that momentum that he gained in Brazil last week as well? Diamond down, only a second DNF in the bronze championship then, but that could be the most crucial DNF of his campaign, unfortunately. And the gaps are now starting to spread out here in Portugal. Then we got the gap between Marquis and Chaz is not then. I hope Percy got damaged there, but I think that he has a lot of pace in that Aston Martin where he can start to really push again and come back up the order. And the Mercedes and the McLaren and fighting, going down the back straight here. We got a great battle. Knowlesy struggling on the hard tires, and how comes Shahid up the inside then on the medium tires? He's taken Knowlesy down into 13th. There goes the 3-time Grand Prix winner. I think that Knowlesy struggled, hasn't he, at the start here, and we've got Marquis and Chazza, very unusually. Where is it? No, Marquis off the circuit, because I think that he's dropped down now behind Siege, so I reckon he's had half a spin. Marquis has and dropped back down into 10th position, here, and that's unfortunate. As it stands at the moment, AlphaTauri are the Constructors World Champions then. So they've had to outscore McLaren by 4 points to keep it going, and that is not happening at the moment in this race there. With one AlphaTauri out though, that's just going to make Troy's life a bit more difficult in this one then. Marquis is all over the back of Siege. Dylan is all over the back of Mr. Rage, but you do need to be a bit closer, I think, around this circuit to get past it on lap 6 here tonight. I'm already perspiring already. Goodness gracious me then. I might need to get out the old fat, I think, then on board with our followers here, who is currently losing that. He's not got very good top end speed in that Ferrari, as he is. Him and Knowlesy was getting very close there, but Knowlesy of course on the hard tires whilst the Ferrari driver then just trying to go for an aggressive strategy to start this one on this way then. Marquis currently in 10th position then. So yes, and here comes Lucas Percy, who got hit by Marquis a few laps ago. He's coming back. He's attacking once again then. So the gap is 3 seconds at the front then. There's Troy and Boxtel very quick at the moment. Now, Nigel's not dropping too far back, and German is now within DRS range of Nigel. So that is going to get very fruity indeed. Dylan is also still in DRS of Mr. Rage. And Mr. Rage is flirting with the DRS range of Sam Green at the moment there, but he's just out of it ever so slightly at the moment now. And Farp has got past Kaz in a very unusual place there. Of course, it's very difficult to overtake around here. There's only 2 major spots and you can overtake around here. I think the rest is kind of like follow the leader kind of thing. Then Dylan too far back on, and there's Chaz in the background. Chaz is struggling to keep up the pace there. Dylan at the moment. Dylan is flying that Mercedes, isn't he? Enjoying himself here tonight in gold. Then it's good to see. We got Marquis in 10th position now with Percy in 11th. There is Percy really starting to push and is he to come to get himself back into this scrap for 9th and 10th now rather than 8th, 9th and 10th, as Chaz has pulled away ever so slightly there. And Marquis has let Percy by there. I wonder if Marquis decided to Maybe I'm doing Marky a just service. I reckon that Marky might have let Siege go, let Chazza and maybe let Siege go then, drop back behind Percy, lose little time then, and then let him go. So that might be very good sportsmanship there from Marky. So hats off there. I wouldn't have done the same, but that's what I do. But I don't embody the the ALR driver integrity that I do. I definitely far from it, I would say. Just on board then with Dylan at the moment, doing a great job. Dylan is the bronze champion. I don't say it enough, do I? I don't for Dylan, but that's mainly because that's the problem when I don't commentate on a season, because I forget. I shouldn't forget, because I was Dylan's teammate in that championship winning year as well, and I didn't help Dylan at all. I actually spun him out in Brazil, which I always say every time I mention Dylan's bronze championship, because it just shows of how difficult a season he had when he had to put up with me in that Williams car. But yeah, Dylan having a look then into turn 1. But yes, and Dylan, the bronze champion of season 4, I think it was, or season 3. Really good season it was for Dylan as well. And of course, Dylan very much it was his consistency was the key in that season, wasn't he? Brilliant. I think he only won 1 or 2 races that season, but he was just smashing the podiums in, wasn't he? That season. And we got Lucifer is off the circuit in the red board, dropping down to last now. Unfortunately for Lucifer, I think he had a bit of a spin there, which is disappointing then for which is a bit disappointing for Lucifer, but let's see how he goes. Only him and German have gone onto the medium tires. Well, I think that Wesley was on the medium tires as well, but Wesley out of the race set fairly early on in this one there. We've got 16 cars left out of the 17 that started. We're on board with German now as our latest world champion in season 6. Danger Thomas was the champion last season, but only participated in 5 races this season. But German now, who is now then would love to get a podium at this one. He's already cemented, he's almost certainly cemented that 4th position. He just needs 1 more point. He needs to outscore Chazza by 1 point here tonight, and he's done it. And unfortunately Chazza, well, he's in 8th position, Chazza, at the moment, and these races can really turn on their head quite quickly here, but Chazza also needs a major score as well, I think. So not only does he needs to have a major score and make sure he outscores German by 1 point as well, so I left that part out, to be honest. Here is a German now, all over the back of Nigel then. So this is 2 champions of yesteryear in ALR, going hammering tongs then, and of course Nigel then, who had a bit of of course in the last few seasons he has been in the wilderness, hasn't he, in ALR, but he's really come back to his best, hasn't he, in this F1 22 game. He really has indeed. That I think that Nigel's really enjoyed the ground effect era of ALR. He certainly has. So he's driving well in silver, they're leading the championship in silver, and of course he is going to emulate German as well by being so I think that German is the only gold and silver champion in ALR history, and I think Nigel could potentially equal that feat tomorrow night then, of course. No pressure, Nigel, of course, on board with German at the moment. Of course, German finished 3rd in the bronze championship, didn't he? Because German has been in ALR for quite a long period of time. I think that this is his 5th season in ALR, 6th season in ALR now. Of course, he started in bronze. He started in bronze season 1, didn't he? And finished 3rd that season behind New Potato. And behind New Potato, then of course, he won the silver championship, and then of course he won the gold championship a season or 2 afterwards, didn't he? Here is German now. He is all over the back of Nigel. We got Percy getting past Siege into the dip of turn 1. Beautifully done there from Percy. Of course, he lost a lot of time there, didn't he, with that spin. I love Percy's helmet, by the way, fantastic. Also very good to see Also very good to see as well. 5-second penalty for Foles and for coming into the pit lane now. So I think he might be a bit on the back foot. He was a late call up to the Ferrari team tonight then, so I don't think he knew exactly where the pit lane was. Pit lane limiter was potentially. Percy, who's got to try and wave off the attack of Siege here. As I'm wondering if the medium tires are starting to go off now for Shahid and Gurman there, because they are not setting good times there at the moment. Well, I haven't said that. Gurman is equalled Nigel around the second split time, judging from the gaps between Gurman and Nigel. Percy currently 3 seconds away then from Chazza. We're going back to this battle here. Gap at the front is 4 seconds more. Troy is flying out there at the moment, absolutely flying. Troy is of course, and he was extendedly in the World Championship, and that is exactly what he's needed. That Troy has also got the 26-point advantage, which is 8 points more than what Boxtel is scored at the moment, which will swing the championship up to 12 points going into China next week. We ain't even at half distance yet. We're only at 1/3 race distance. There's still a long way to go around here. There is pitfalls and perils. I would say the safety car is not. I would say that the safety car is may not be too fruitful around here. I don't think it's going to be out. I don't think it's going to be out all the time around here because the barriers are quite a distance from the circuit. But you do go off in a big way because of how quick the corners are. But at the moment, no difference so far. What's the point difference between Troy and Boxer? Sorry, I missed it. I was off the stream for a minute. Currently, so it's 4 points at the moment now between Troy and Boxer at the beginning of this race. And as it stands, the points will go up to 12. Maybe 12 points in Troy's favour then, with Troy winning the race and setting the fastest lap then from Boxer going into China in a week's time, of course. Then. So 12 points is the current gap in the moment, but we've got an awful long way to go in this one. Farf is flying out there at the moment. He's caught all the way to the back of Knowlesy here, of course. Great to see two legacy. Oh, it's German almost spun there. Two legacy drivers of the sport, and very much enjoying themselves in this very new, more modern race of Formula 1, isn't there? Here at the Portuguese Grand Prix. I think that the track was constructed in 2008, wasn't it, or 2009, something like that. But of course, we had our first race around here during the COVID hit season of 2010, which is the season review I am watching at the moment, there, which I was watching until I fell asleep, unfortunately. But I think that would be something I'm watching whilst me and the other admins are going to be looking through, getting some good footage of drivers then for the awards, which is currently out at the moment. And there is the awards then, I think, no, not out, but no, I think they're out next week, aren't they? But yeah, so the awards, of course, will be... You'll be able to vote on your best overtake and all that kind of stuff. And driver of the season, who do you think's driver of the season, and all that kind of great stuff. Then which we have every year in ALR, don't we? Of course, we also have the season review as well. Boxall's off the circuit. Oh goodness gracious me! And the Boxall, and look, Green's going for it. He's taken the position as well. With Boxall, as he made an unforced error here. Yes, Troy's pulling away from him, but there is no one else around him for Boxall. He's down into 10th position now. Oh my goodness me, this is major ramifications in the World Championship then. And this is one race there where Boxall did not want to be off the pace, did he? Well, make mistakes, I should say then. Boxall down into 5th position now. He's going, the McLaren team are going to have to ponder how they're going to bring their driver back into this one. But Troy, remember though, Troy in a couple of races this season has made some errors, hasn't he? Remember United States for one, where he was leading the race with just a couple of laps to go, and Boxall won that one. My goodness gracious me, then this is potentially crunch time in the World Championship, isn't it? Between Troy and Boxall, that is a major blow. Siege is lost out to Markey. Markey's back into the top 10. I got some points said now. Can Boxall get past the Green, who's having a great drive? One of his might be a better performance in potentially than his Baku race where he finished second. Then, but potentially, however, we've got a long way to go still. My word then is we are coming up to half. We are about 3 laps away from half distance then. The medium tyres are going very strong then, because I was saying a couple laps ago that German was strong on those tyres. Well, actually he wasn't at all. I wonder if he was just saving those tyres ever so slightly then to just prolong the life out. And all the drivers, well, I say all the drivers, everyone who started on the hard tyres will be looking at German's pace. I'll be looking at Shahid's pace as well, and I think that those medium tyres should be able to get me to the end then. If I pit just after the halfway mark. So they've done 12 laps already around here, and they've still got good pace. And you can see that Nigel had really struggled. I think what was the last race? It was Brazil, wasn't it? Where he was just falling down the order. Nigel wasn't he? He just really struggled. Nightmare race for both gold and silver last week for Nigel. But today he's looking he's got much more pace in him. However, German is still trying to get past Boxall, having a look at them, but they're struggling to catch Green then, going down into turn 1 there. Of course, if you just joined us, the race story so far, Boxall got pole position then with a last gasp lap. It was an absolutely fantastic lap there from Boxall. He's been so good in qualifying. He was about 3 seconds behind Troy. He has made a mistake, we think, where the McLaren has spun off, and And now he is trying to fight his way back. He dropped down to 5th position. He's now got back onto the rear end of Green then in the Red Bull. But I don't think this is going to be too easy there. Boxtel does have the pace there, but I think he almost had an issue again there at the top of the hill for Boxtel. It is starting to fall apart, isn't it, for Boxtel? Oh my goodness gracious me, this could get very interesting indeed. Remember, the championship is 4 points as it stands at the moment now. But now he's losing out to Troy by 15 points, 15 points then, which means the championship lead will be up to 19 points then between himself and Troy in the World Championship, and that is not a great, that is not good at all. With only just 2 races to go after this one here tonight as well. We go to China next week for round 23, and then the final round of the World Championship will be in. As Kaz got 3-second penalty. That's the only 3-second penalty we've had so far, and then we're just on board now with Boxtel. So as we go into turn 4, we're just 2 rounds to go after tonight. Then where we go to China and then into Abu Dhabi. Then for it's going to be a fantastic end to the season. Boxtel's having a look into turn 5. Charles Palmer. If Boxtel finishes top 4, does Troy win the championship? No, he don't. Not yet. Then, but Troy cannot win the championship here today. That's it, because the gap is only 4 points at the moment there. So, but well, it's only 4 points at the start of tonight. At the end, if it finishes how it is now, then that means that the gap will be 19 points in the World Championship between Boxtel and Troy. Torn Green is having a great race at the moment, isn't there? So just a lovely helicam shot here. Nigel, I think that Gurman possibly has the pace on Nigel here, but I wonder if he's going to have an almighty undercut. I think, and then Nigel and then Gurman's going to be quick, but he's going to overtake Nigel, but he will be on the slower tyre whilst everyone behind him be on the quicker tyre. Green, I think, is going to be a sit and duck here, because there goes Boxtel, breezes past the Red Bull up into 4th position, and Boxtel then trying to recover the time he lost. Dylan has lost an almighty amount of time because Chaz has found some pace in the second half of the stint. I wonder if Chaz was just looking after his tyres. And Boxtel, still 2 races, two races to go. Then I would love to only be 19 points behind Equals to say. And then of course there's his battle with Nigel. Nigel is about to reach his going to reach the crescendo potential. I think Equals has done a great job this season, hasn't he? Got his first pole position last week as well, didn't he? In fine style, did Equals. Unfortunately, he didn't get much to show for it, did it? Where I think he finished 3rd in both the sprint and the Grand Prix itself. Watching Boxtel here, who's in 4th, but I think Equals had a great season, hasn't he? They're very impressive stuff indeed there for Equals. Consistency has been absolutely fantastic. On board now with a Boxtel. You can see 2 drivers in front of him. If he can get back up into 2nd position now, I reckon he might be satisfied today. Well, I don't think he will be satisfied, but I think that's the best. It's the best he can do here. Into the pit, so comes Nigel. So that's going to be a blessing there for Boxtel, because he's got the DRS as well as he hasn't got Gurman now, who will have been in his line of sight. Into the pits comes Gurman then, and he's going to be onto the hard tyres. Of course, these hard tyres then they do need a lap or 2 to really heat up, don't they? So Gurman needs a beautiful bit of track space, and he's got it. He looked at the map there. I think Gurman did. Remember, you don't have engineers. Well, you may have engineers, but you may have some drivers may have engineers, but normally 9 times out of 10 the drivers would be working this out, and the Gurman worked out that he can go into the pits, make his pit stop on the hard tyres, come out, and then set and have a lovely gap where he's not defending, all stuck behind cars, and he's going to focus on that, on getting his tyres up to temperature. And look at that, and that is exactly what he's doing, and he's having to weave to warm these hard tyres up, and because he's now going for the undercut. There's Far from the background. Also, you were just in over the brow of the hill as well. Then goodness gracious me, Boxtel currently just watching him at the moment. Percy is all over the back of the 2 Mercedes now of Dylan and Chaz in 6th and 7th. I'm back. I'm back. Thank fudge. Then, serious Russia. Welcome back. Then. Okay. He's going down to the wire. Troy is our leader. And he is the best bottom feeder. La 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 la. Rest. I'm struggling to see what it was. I need to get rid of these emojis. Into the pits. There comes Chazza and Percy. So both come to the pits. Just after the half distance point here. The medium tires there for Chazza. Percy onto the mediums as well. When it eventually comes to the pits. There's Chazza there. Here comes Percy into the pits. Now Aston Martin mechanics going to work. They've been superb this season, haven't they? And once again, servicing their man very nicely indeed. Marky out the pits as well in the second Ferrari. Where's Gurman? There's Gurman. He's not racing those drivers as such, is he? But once again, he's got more beautiful track space. Here's Nosey then, and Chazza has lost out to Farfang because that means that you've got to get these tires up to temperature. They're on the mediums, so they won't take as long as Gurman's tires to come in. So Chazza should get past that Farf in the next, I would say, at the end of this lap potentially. And down the back straight then with DRS now. Knowlesy, who's for some reason I thought it was a car back. Who's that elusive? That's a problem there. It's what the Red Bull said. And that's Shahid then who spun the car at turn 4. The car gets so light there, doesn't it? And I'm wondering then, is that's on the medium tires while they? Oh goodness me! Is Troy just lapping one of the Ferraris there? Who's had a bit of a nightmare day, isn't he? Harder falls, and maybe the soft tires was not the way to go. Chaz all over the back into the pits comes in as well, trying to counter what his teammate and Percy just done, and the Farfar who is really going to be fighting this one. This thing because Farfar's not pitted yet. He's trying to get himself back into this one. On board. With Chazza going through, Farf dropping down into 10th position there. Percy is also going to be through as well. Farf is coming into the pits. I think I'll just smash my face on the microphone, which is not a good sign. Dylan there is coming out of the pits now. Oh goodness me, Percy's through past Chazza. Is he going to be past as well? Oh yes he is. And the two Mercedes there. I think that they were so close to coming together now. Oh my goodness me, and there's yellow flags. I think that the Mercedes may have briefly touched. We lost sight of them ever so slightly. But Percy now up into 8th position there. On the quicker tyre here, and goodness me, and he's gone purple as well. Then Percy could be a major. Thank you very much, Serious Russia. Percy may be a major thorn in the sides then of Nigel and Boxtel here in this one. They're on board now because Percy has triggered the undercut as such. They've come in quite early. 3-second penalty for Dylan. That's going to cost him. He's drove so well so far up to this point now, but him and his teammate almost came to blows at the exit of the pit straight. Into the pits come Sam and Nigel then. And you see then is Boxtel stayed out for now then. That's a Red Bull in the background of Shahid. There has been a bit lap then. Over half distance down into the pits. Nigel onto the medium compound tyres. Mr. Rage also into the pits as well. Siege has stayed out. Nigel good through. It's safe release. There is Siege. He has gone through. Nigel on the pits now. Green and Mr. Rage. Mr. Rage, and that's a bit of a short slow stop. There's Gurman. There's Nigel. There's Percy. Oh, and here they come then. Goodness gracious. What's on the outside? Oh my goodness me! Gurman there is on the hard tyres here. I think on the alternative strategy though, I do think that let's see how Gurman goes then. Maybe I'm being a bit of a negative. Look at how much time he's lost to Nigel. That undercut hasn't worked at all for Gurman. There's a problem there for the Red Bull. If Shahid is having issues, up the inside goes Gurman. Passes Green and he is through. But I think that Green is going to have the tyres at this stage. Kaz in 13th position in gold. I quit. Serious Russia saying, well, he's up to 12th now, isn't he? As Green is all over the back of Gurman. I think that the undercut hasn't worked for Gurman, and now he's gonna struggle to keep these positions, you know. I've got to be honest, I thought Percy was a lot closer. Mr. Rage has done a good job into the pits. There comes Boxtel as well. Has Boxtel done enough to keep himself in front of Nigel and this gaggle here? I think the Boxtel's going to be out in front of these guys, to be honest. Into the pits. There comes Boxtel now. He might regain his second position there. Siege into the pits. And where is Nigel? I think that Boxtel has done enough. I think that the undercut is not very well. It's not done at all well for him, has it? Well, no, here comes Nigel. Nigel then, it's going to be close, and Nigel might get it. He has. Where is he? Oh, there he is then. Oh, the race goes Shahid then, and the Red Bull. Into the pits comes Siege as well. German is still in front of Green there. That's going to be disappointing for Green, and he would like to have got past, because now he's got Mr. Rage and Percy, and the second Mercedes of Chaz behind him as well now. And Siege coming out to the 11th position there. Golly gosh there. And now going down into turn 5, and they're all having a sniff, and look at this 5-car battle here. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh my word, absolutely incredible stuff indeed. 35 seconds of a gap is about there. Troy, who is just enjoying himself out there at the moment, isn't there? Troy is, goodness gracious me. Troy, who has a chance, has got a 3-second penalty as well. That could be costly. You've only got 4 drivers with penalties at the moment. Falls, who got a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane, but he, to be fair, he had no practice, so he came in very, very late indeed. Chaz, I think, had his Kaz got a 3-second penalty, as has Chaz and Dylan as well. Ferrari's gone wide. Look at this, and I think that Dylan would be happy that German's holding him up here, because I think that Dylan's going to really start to come back out these drivers now. That Boxall's a second back at him on there. Kaz got another 3-second penalty. Troy has stayed out again, just having a lovely Sunday afternoon drive here. Here comes Green, and look at this, and German's got no defence there, and the Red Bull driver up in the full position. Green is having an absolutely incredible day out there in that Red Bull. Fantastic stuff indeed, thank goodness me. As Cirrus Russia, the double has left. As we're just watching Green, German, and now Mr. Rage. German will have DRS, but up in the hard tires, the strategy, which is the preferred strategy, I would have thought would be mediums to the hard tires. It's just not helping at all here. And look, there's Percy, very much in the heart of this battle. I think that's one of it's one of the reasons why Percy is no longer part of the championship fight then, because there was a lot of scrapes, wasn't there, into the pits. Now comes Troy. He got involved in a lot of scrapes then, of course, and then he was in the midfield as well. Qualifying never went his way either, did it for Percy, but I'm hoping that Percy comes back next season, and because I feel that Troy, Boxall and Troy, Boxall and Percy, whatever happens, have had an incredible season this season. All three of them have been head and shoulders above the rest of them. I don't mean they've all got dandruff, I mean that they have just been fantastic this season, haven't they? All three of them have. Whoever wins the championship, they would definitely have earned one of the best championships in ALR history, in my opinion. On board then with Percy, as he is now getting past German as well. He could have a double overtake here, you know, and look at this, and now they come then, and my goodness me, the camera can't keep up with them, and we go down into turn 1. He has done it. The Ferrari is going to have a look. Then it's the Ferrari, as German just about keeps in front of Chazza here, but yeah, the German on the traditional strategy, I'm going to say, the traditional strategy of the medium to the hard tires is just not working out tonight. He is just dropping down the order. Kaz is in the pits, and I think he'll be on the mediums to the end of the race as well, you know. Boxall all over the back now of Nigel as he recovers after that spin earlier on this race, and so we'll see how this one goes then. We'll see, so I think he's recovered nicely, Boxall, and this could be crucial in this championship bit. It is crucial in this championship bit, isn't it? Because this is the more... Oh, German having a swapperoo, and Chazza is through. German is dropping like a stone, and that is such a shame, isn't there? And I'm surprised, to be honest, of how bad those hard tyres are working against the mediums, but this might come back to German later on this race, but disappointing for German to be down in 8th position there. Lovely shot here then as we got them, but we're just going to swap to Nigel as well. Sorry, to Boxall Nigel. Boxall then get himself back up into 2nd position then, and whittling at the advantage that Troy has got at the moment in the World Championship. Be down to back down to 12 points in the World Championship because Troy's still got fastened up, I think. And there he goes then. So Boxall back up into 2nd position there after a spin earlier on in this race. 9 laps to go in this race, and just over 2/3 race distance around here then. Percy up into 5th position, good stuff indeed there. Sam Green doing a brilliant job in 4th position. He is my personal driver of the day at the moment, doing a fantastic job. Really good stuff indeed there. German down in 8th position there. Dylan in 9th, and Markey in 10th, and Siege and Farp 11th and 12th at this moment then. Knowlesy and Kaz in 13th and 14th, and Falls in the 15th position. Retirements, Shahid and Vesey both out of the race. Vesey issued in turn 1. We don't know what happened then, but we did see Farf off the circuit as well, but I'm not pointing fingers at Farf, but it did look suspicious. Those are the only two retirements so far at this moment in time. Then. But Troy, magnificent performance tonight, isn't it? This is exactly what he wanted then, isn't it? Going into the final two races of the World Championship. My goodness gracious me. So, yes, it is going to be very tense, is it, for all the drivers then. And Troy's at the fast side of the race then, of course, which means that he increases gap to 12 points, because I think he had fast up anyway. So it still stays at 12 points. However, I think that Troy's going to be willing Nigel along here, is he, to get past Boxstyle, and indeed he is. Boxstyle, a great qualifying lap, but in the race trim, Boxstyle has just been has not been as quick as the drivers around him now. He's coming back on the inside there, Boxstyle, so he's not giving this one up. And of course, this could be like lap one, though, isn't it? And Boxstyle swooping through and cutting Nigel up there, so Nigel couldn't come back at him. Great defensive driving there from Boxstyle. My goodness me, though, but Nigel is hanging on to the back of the man who's second in the World Championship. And this is crucial. This is not what Boxstyle wanted, was he? I think that he doesn't want Troy winning, but now he doesn't want Nigel to be all over his gearbox either. And goodness gracious me, he is certainly having to defend at this stage of this race. Percy is all over the back of a green as well. On board now with Nigel. Oh my goodness gracious me. And just watching Sir Smash, and the hearts are horrible around here. They really are, aren't they? I'm quite shocked, to be honest, of how bad they are, to be fair, to German there, because he was doing well on the medium tires, but then he has just dropped down the order. He was battling with Nigel, this man here, who was second at the time, and he has dropped down the order, then going over the grid actions there, and here comes Nigel again then, and Nigel's going to, I think that Nigel knows he has been in championship position before, championship winning positions before. He's fought for championships. He is fighting for a championship in silver as well. So I don't think that I'm just going to go for a darn deared move here. Oh my goodness me, I thought there was going to be a contact there between German and Dillon, but German fought better, but is down in ninth position on the Ferrari driver. A miserable day. He said he didn't like this race there, and goodness me, and the strategy is not, it's really, and the strategy for Ferrari is not helped him either tonight, has it? On board with a person, look in front of us, look how condensed it is then. Boxstyle in second then in third position is Nigel, 6 seconds second back. Green is about 2.5 seconds away from now those battling drivers battling for second. Then we have got Percy, who's less than a second behind him. Just over a second behind him is Mr. Rage. Then it's Chazza, who's less than half a second back there. Dylan 5 seconds back him. He's struggling for pace at the moment in Dylan at the moment, as is German in 9th position. So close this Grand Prix spin. Markey has been in 10th position, but Siege, who has started to home back in on that final point spot at the moment. Farf in 12th position. Knowlesy in 13th. 14th is Kaz, and 15th is Foles. Retirements is Shahid and Bessie out of the Portuguese Grand Prix. Serious Mushroom, Nigel's a beast, and so it hit, Sowen out the front is just toying with him now then. And German's off the circuit, and he's dropped out of the points as well, and so the hard tires has been an absolute nightmare for German, and very frustrated indeed then for the Ferrari driver. And German is, I think that he's going to struggle to get a point from there, because the hard tires has just got no pace whatsoever. And I've even seen it from the second Ferrari. Both Ferraris on the hard tires for the final stint. It's just not paying off. They are just, they are dropping back pretty alarmingly now. And just watching Chaz all over the back of Mr. Rage here for 6th and 7th edition. Driver of the Day vote will be open momentarily. It'd be interesting to know what your vote is for Driver of the Day. I must say, I'm going to have a very difficult challenge here to think about who should get Driver of the Day. Of course, as I mentioned, next week we will be heading off to the Far East Centre for the Chinese Grand Prix. This will be the second to last round of this World Championship. It has been such a long season. This one's been, hasn't it? Been quite a brutal one indeed. I thought Mark was all over I thought Mark was alongside here. Here comes Percy. Here comes Chaz as well. Percy is through. Yes, he is through. Up into 4th position. Great recovery drive. And Chaz is through as well. Up into 6th position. Good stuff indeed there for both those drivers. Magnificent stuff. Whoops, I've broken YouTube. That's not good, is it? Good stuff indeed there for both those drivers. Magnificent stuff indeed. And now is, but look at this, and his green is trying to come back at him there. Oh, we got a yellow flag, and I was very momentarily, I was looking at something else. Yeah, so, yes, so the poll is up then, Serious Russia. It has to be Percy, just because of the positions that he has gained, hasn't he, then? He's been really impressed. Yeah, Percy has been very impressive indeed, then. Of course, also Troy's been very impressive, as has Green as well. Been very impressive, Green, tonight. It's been magnificent. Coming down the back straight there, thank you very much then for your votes. Keep them all coming in, ladies and gents. And Troy's got 50% of the vote, 25 for Percy, 25 for Green as well. Green then, I think, make sure to keep up with Percy. Nigel's doing a great job out there, by the way. He's doing a magnificent job with the Germans in the pits, and he has had enough. And I wonder if German's going to try and go for fast lap. If he does, then the gap in the championship will be down to 11 points then, because he'll be stealing that off of Troy. I'm wondering if Troy's got anything in the bag, right? Because he's only done 6 laps on these medium tyres there. He hasn't been on them not long at all. Mr. Rage is still over the back of Chazza here. Great points here for Chazza and Mr. Rage, and this is very important. And Siege is now into the top 10. Him and Mark here having an almighty scrap there. What about the Constructors' Championship, I hear you ask? I think, as it stands then, Troy, as it stands then, the AlphaTauri will be the World Constructors' Championship then. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, as Serious Russia nearly typed something rude. Whoops. Percy spun and is still up there. Aquaz is saying then, yes, I think that Percy might be getting some majority of votes lower Troy. I think they all have deserved drivers today, to be honest, in their own right. Sam Green has just been absolutely monstrous today in that Red Bull. Percy, great recovery drive after. I think he had a qualifying ban, to be honest. And also... And here comes Mr. Rage there, of course, up into 6th position there, Mr. Rage is good. I remember that him and Chazza are on an almighty scrap bed for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th in the World Championship as well. So they may not be, well, they may not be caring about that. I'm sure they are, to be fair. They may not care too much about that, but I think they do want to get past each other. They do want to finish in front of each other in the World Championship. But anyway, yes, going back to that then, with McLaren only on 20 points then, and AlphaTauri on 25. That is it then. The Constructors' Championship has, we're 4 laps to go then. If they stay where they are, the Constructors' Championship of AlphaTauri will be crowned here tonight then. And now, and I'm wondering then, I think that, and that may be just part of the puzzle though for Troy there, because he wants to be the Drivers' Champion as well. Boxstell's recovered to a very good second position, but he has not had the pace of the race leader, Troy, which has put on a clinic in racing today. He's been absolutely supreme, hasn't he, Troy? Magnificent stuff there. And just on board now as well. Thank you very much for the arrows and stuff. Great stuff. I know, I need to figure out how they move this stuff, because they put emojis on YouTube now. Percy's off the circuit, oh no! And that 4th position has been thrown away from Percy. Oh goodness me! And he has had a very good He has had a very good race up until that point. He had a spin as well, but he's had a second spin, and that has almost certainly cost him 4th position. It may have cost him 5th or 6th as well in this race. Let's see how much pace he's got. But Chaz and Mr. Rage are fighting with every ounce of pace they have in these medium tyres. At 31 out of 33 here. And just watching Chazza, who is still pushing on. Mr. Rage is going to have to really get harvested now, is he, as well. So let's bring up the telemetry. 13% now, 8% now for Chazza. This is very much an Urs burner, isn't it? There's not really many hard braking points around here, maybe 3 or 4. A lot of it is fast sweeping corners, which is a nightmare for drivers that are really low on the old deployment. And Percy's down in 7th position as well. He's going to be kicking himself up. But however, Chazza does have penalties of 3 seconds there. Both Mercedes do, unfortunately. So that'll put Chazza back down to 6th position. Dylan should stay in front of Markey as well. So Percy might be able to get himself back up into 6th position then of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Then DRS then on the money for Charles, and then as he goes over the grid hatches as well. Look at him gaining, then unless he can find 3 seconds from somewhere. He is actually there pulling away though from Percy down that back straight. He only needs to find another 8 tenths of second only. He only needs to find 8 tenths of second on Percy. I say that with tongue in cheek, to be fair, with tongue in cheek there, because I don't think, because I think getting 8 tenths of second on anyone in ALR is goodness me, is very much a mammoth task, especially when it's a Percy who is driven superbly well, especially tonight. Unfortunately, he didn't deserve that final spin, did he? Serious question, how many points do you need, Equals? Equals, I prefer not to say, especially with Nigel being third here. Yeah, let's just say that I think that at the moment, basically at the end of tomorrow night, Equals needs to have the gap between himself and Nigel under 52 points. Then at the moment it stands at 50 points. So if none of them score tomorrow night, then that'll be perfect, Equals. Then I'm not saying, I'm not not hinted anything there, but yes, yes, I think that if they both non-scored, then of course Equals is still in the championship. Goodness me, Troy taking no prisoner tonight, said, and also going to put my Troy shirt on as well. And let's go on board then with the managed extenders in the World Championship. I think he's still got that fast lap as well, which means he'll be up to 12 points in the World Drivers' Championship. Nigel's coming back out Boxtal as well, as Troy has got no fuel almost, has he? And hopefully he's got enough to the end of the race then. Percy's got a 3 second penalty. He's also lost that, and that's a shame because now Percy's also lost that 6th position as well then. So frustration in the Aston Martin driver there. But here comes, there's a Ferrari off. Who is that off? It's Siege and Markey swapping position as well. And I think that's hard foul, so just get out of the way then. Siege and Markey have not given up their battles yet, and have they between these two? These two have had an almighty scrap for most of the race here, as the Alfa Romeo there is just going to fall back ever so slightly fast. Got a 3 second penalty as well. But Troy is 12 points now in front of Boxtown, the World Drivers' Championship. However, it is AlphaTauri's day today then, and he comes out of the final turn, and Troy wins the Portuguese Grand Prix, but it's AlphaTauri who wins the Constructors' Championship from ALR Gold then Season 8, and AlphaTauri have won the Constructors' Championship, and I think that is AlphaTauri's first Constructors' Championship in ALR. Magnificent stuff for Troy and for Fesley and for the AlphaTauri team. Magnificent stuff indeed from AlphaTauri, and they have also ended the monopoly that McLaren have had on the Constructors' Championship of winning it in the last 2 seasons there. But what a performance there for Troy tonight. That is his best racing performance of the season, and it has come at a critical time in the World Championship. AlphaTauri, the Constructors' Champion, the Constructors' Champions of Season 8 of ALR, and it is the and Troy extends his lead to 12 points in the World Championship. It is still very finely balanced, as the Boxtown made a mistake today, but he recovered back up into second and maximised an off day, which is what you have to do when you're in a championship battle. That is certainly what he did tonight there. Really good stuff indeed there. But today's day is definitely Troy AlphaTauri's day. Unfortunately, Wesley could not celebrate with his team as he was out in turn 1, as well as Gurman just, I think, nipped in front of far by the minutest of margins there. Driver of the day vote is still up then. Troy 50% vote, 40% for Percy, 10% for Green at this moment in time then. And let's take a far look at the classification then from the Portuguese Grand Prix. Troy then standing on top of the podium once again, and this is Troy's 7th win of the season for Troy then. Goodness gracious me, what a performance there from Troy. What a textbook performance there from Troy. The super Swede, magnificent stuff indeed, and that's also Troy's 9th win of his career as well. Only 1 win away from Boxtal as well. Boxtal, who has 10 career wins in ALR Gold. Magnificent stuff indeed then. And let's take a final look at the Portuguese Grand Prix. And our last stop here in Europe then of the Season 8 of ALR. And the last stop for F122 as well in Europe as well for ALR. Troy is 7th winner of the season. Boxster and also got fast as well. The gap is 12 points between himself and Boxster in the championship. Boxster got pole position. That incredible lap came out of nowhere. Third position, Nigel Green. Brilliant drive to 4th today. Fantastic. Mr. Rage 5th with Chaz 6th. Percy 7th. Dylan in 8th position. Marky 9th. Siege in 10th. German, miserable day in the Ferrari in 11th. 12th Far. 13th Knowlesy. Kaz in 14th. Hollow Falls in 15th position. Shahid and Vezzi retired from the Portuguese Grand Prix. Thank you very much then for the drivers that turned up today, which I don't think has been a very popular circuit as it, but there's AlphaTauri Constructors World Champions. That is the crux of the situation here tonight. Brilliant stuff for all those drivers for the AlphaTauri. Goodness gracious me. Is Troy a deaf? I'm not too sure, to be honest. I don't think he is. Goodness, it might be because I've just basically said that AlphaTauri has been Constructors Champions for like 3 times in a row. Then let's go to talk to Nigel then. Nigel, today then, of course, I know that tomorrow could be a crown and achievement, but today you got a very good third position and you had a lot of pace as well. Goodness me, you was very much pressure in box style for most of that race then. But first, it talks about the first stint because it seems that German wouldn't leave you alone.
Yeah, it was a great race. The setup was fine, the car was fine, and everything was, just fine.
It sounds like a straightforward race for me, but it's never ever a straightforward race, is it? But of course, then you went for the alternative strategy, whilst German went on from medium to hard tyres. It seems like that the hard to medium strategy was the way to go. But what made you go for that decision then to go onto the hards? Did you just not feel the hards were going to be quick enough in that second stint?
Yeah, of course, the mediums are faster in the second stint because your cars are, of course, a stick lighter. So I was just going for the hard mediums, and it turns out a great result.
It was indeed, and of course, in the end, then you and Boxtel was on an almighty scrap as well. For things come next season, of course, you're already confirmed to be in gold with the incredible season in silver. You looking forward to having more battles with Boxtel?
Yeah, I hope so, but. Yeah, they're just a little bit faster than me. Of course, Troy's much faster, but it was great stuff indeed for tonight. And I love the battles in front, and I hope we'll do it next season also.
And of course, talking about, we're going to talk about silver tomorrow. How are you feeling about tomorrow? And of course, you could have won the championship in Brazil, I think, but it was a bit of a stretch. But tomorrow is a bit more of a realistic target. How are you feeling going into tomorrow then, knowing that the championship is very much at the edge of your fingertips?
Yeah, just doing my thing. Focus on the drive and just bring it home.
Good stuff indeed, nice and simple. I love it. Well done indeed today, Nigel. Brilliant stuff indeed. Troy, textbook race today. Goodness me, from lights out to checker flag. Really, you was absolutely in a class of one there. I got to say, did you think it was a test session today because no one was behind you?
Man, I was just like, it was tunnel vision today, to be honest. Like, as soon as I got the move done and I was first, it was just push, and I noticed like that Boxer was struggling towards their like first couple of laps, then that he was struggling a bit with grip and everything in those like tweaky sectors. So I was just trying to break that DRS gap as soon as possible, because I know that, well, I felt like even from quali I felt like that if I break the DRS I should be fine. So yeah, luckily I managed to do that, and from there on it was just to get the car to the end, really.
It was a magnificent performance. Being 15 seconds in front of Boxtal and Nigel in second and third position. Now, I just said tunnel vision, like a bit of the zone kind of thing. How are you feeling then with China and Abu Dhabi to come up next? You're 12 points ish in the lead in the championship. It is still very close, isn't there? With any one wrong move, and it could be all over. So, how difficult is it going into these races? And how are you tense when you at the beginning of each race these days?
Man, honestly, I am not tense, man. I'm just excited, to be honest. Like, there are two different types of nervous, or like, you will always have like the nerves coming into a race. It's just about how you use them. If they like get into your heads, or if you just like transform them into like even more energy and like more like better focus and everything. And for me, all season it's really been like the good part of it, to be honest. And man, I'm just excited to get on every Sunday, you know. And I'm not really thinking about the nerves, really like being nervous or whatever. Like for me, it's more like today it's Sunday. Today's like one step closer, you know, to the championship. That's all I'm trying to focus on, to be honest.
Really good stuff. Well done today, Troy. Magnificent stuff indeed. Well done to Boxstyle, Troy, and Nigel for getting onto the roster. Oh, that's me watching MotoGP. Get onto the podium. Brilliant stuff, man. We'll be back in action for China for gold next week. Then Troy's got a 12-point lead in the World Championship. It's getting very squeaky bum time. Tomorrow night could be Nigel's night. Then he could be crowned the silver champion tomorrow. That'd be fantastic news. But Equals is not going to let him go without a fight, is he? Bronze it is very much going to go down to the wire as well between Dynamo and Jinner. Jinner is finally taking lead in the World Championship after cutting away at that lead for so long. Alpha Tauri are the Constructors World Champions as well for gold. Magnificent performance they've had this season. Really well done to them. So they are the second Constructors Championships that have been awarded this season. Magnificent stuff indeed. Now then, that is it for us tonight. We'll be back. Knowles is going to be back with you tomorrow for silver and maybe for some celebration in the camp of Nigel. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.